Oh, well, maybe it is, maybe it's not. You guys will have to tell us in the chat. This did this to me once before in Melon, where I tried to start the live stream, and and lo and behold, you know what? YouTube Studio says it's live. I'll go in
It
the
is live,
control
yeah.
room. It looks like we're live.
Penguin
Oh my
skulls.
goodness.
That's
My
my new
goodness.
move. That's good
There's,
move.
it's been a crazy time here. I was just telling Jason before we started. And by the way, I love the lights behind you. Thank you.
Thank you. My
Fantastic.
7-year-old daughter is now doing the lighting on the show, and it shows, and I dig it. Hey, Meg. Morning,
You
Meg.
still have the YouTube mullet going on, right? Business in the front, party in the back.
Exactly.
The,
White light in the front. Yep.
yep.
Making it happen.
I've got my mega mug.
Nice.
And I don't know if I asked you this before. Are you? I take a lot of heat on this because I keep I keep Mio energy drink in there. Are you a
Right.
consumer of Mio energy? Are you familiar with it?
I'm not. No, well, at first I seem like almost like a tough guy because I'm just drinking my coffee black in here, just black.
Oh,
And the coffee black on this old mug, but it's hazelnut coffee, so I think that kind of gets you beat up. I think that gets you beat up in some places.
well, when I drink coffee, it's about 1/3 creamer, 2/3 coffee.
Yeah,
And people are like, why are you drinking? I don't like coffee. So I've got to put enough creamer in there that it stops tasting like coffee. And then I can drink it.
Yeah.
It sort of defeats the purpose. But
Yeah.
hey, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. I hope,
good to see
your Christmas was good as well.
It was
being Santa
very
Claus,
busy. We've been extremely busy, not only with the Santa Claus business, but and all that entails around Christmas Day. But then in between Christmas and New Year's, we had to completely clean out the first level of the house. It's like you're moving, right? It's empty as if you put everything in a moving truck and you're leaving. The living room is bare. The kitchen bare. Like there's not a plate, a dish, a sofa, nothing. Right? No pictures on the wall. Everything's completely empty. And tomorrow they start tearing out flooring and walls and demolition. So it's going to be.
From the background, I wouldn't even. I can't even tell. You got the fire going. All the elves chairs are there. None of the elves are in there because they know better. It all adds up. I mean, I think it looks great.
Well, it's January 3rd. The elves are still on their 2-week break following Christmas, and the work starts right up for next year, and you guys will be hearing plenty of. Oh no, Meg, sorry about that. There's the elves will be right back at it. You guys will hear all the commotion going on. There'll be plenty of hammering and nonsense. So
The ones that survived, yeah, the one that survived.
the ones that survived.
Yeah,
That's right. So, look, the echo is been dramatically reduced here because we moved the living room furniture down here. I've actually got some pictures on the walls. This is starting to look like really nice. I got pictures out on Discord so folks can see how this is coming along. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Nice.
Hey, so I haven't talked to many folks since the book of Boba Fett. I've been trying to catch up on YouTube videos. What did you think of episode 1?
I actually loved it a lot. I understand people's reservations about it, that it was like this big, slow, open 30-minute opening essentially to something you waited 40 years for. Totally get like where people are coming from on it. But I've actually watched it 5 times.
Oh my goodness!
And to me, that's where the proof is in the pudding or whatever, right? I mean, it's like I will usually watch like one of the cartoons or something like that. I'll watch it once. I'll watch it a second time to talk about it, just to really know it well. And
Right.
but I don't go back to it until I forget it. And on this one, I've watched it pretty much watched it almost once a day since it came out. And I don't know if that will stick. I don't know if that'll stick, but that is my. I guess I can't give it a bigger endorsement than the fact that I keep watching it.
Well, I've watched it 3 times myself. So, like you, I watch it once with the reactions, and then I watch it again when I could just like focus. I'm not. I've seen it once. Now I can absorb what happened. I can go back and look at things, catch some context where before it was coming all at me, and now I know what's going on. And as the context comes by, I'm like, oh, I caught something I didn't. And then I watched it again with my daughter, and I will say for me, again, I enjoyed it a lot, and on the rewatches, I liked it more, which is, I think, a good thing. Like when you may have an initial reaction, and a good example is like Star Wars Theory with Rise of Skywalker. He loved it when he first saw it, and then as it kind of sank in, as he lived with it more and rewatched it, not so much.
And that's completely fair. Like,
yeah,
you can watch something and have and have a really good experience. It could be a one-time good watch, and it just doesn't float over time. I mean, it happens.
Right. It absolutely, and I think it is absolutely fair. But for me, with this time, on the rewatch, I enjoyed it more. I really, really liked it, and I saw like Dale or Wayne's in the chat, Reefer Man Reviews, that he says is disappointed. Right, I did not love it, didn't hate it. A lot of problems with irritated me enough not to leave it. And I see a lot of people who say that the pacing, right? The pacing is really tough. Hey, look, Jürgen Meyer. Hey, oh, hello, Jürgen. Good to see you. Watched it 8 times. That's a lot. Look, he's got the same hat on as Mike Porter.
See, I proves it though. I watched it 5 times and I thought that was a lot. But there's always a bigger fish. Proven.
Yeah, exactly. I know Meg loved it. And I saw she's been getting some harsh criticisms in her video comments, which is unfortunate. And I don't know. As somebody who really loved the sequels, I love the sequels, and I've received a fair amount of criticism myself from folks who take me to task over my enjoyment of those movies. But it's interesting when you've got the Book of Boba Fett that is beloved by many people. The character of Boba Fett is beloved by many people. And then the episode comes out, and again, we have this divide.
Yeah. Always.
It's fascinating to me.
Yeah. No, it's always there. I mean, I honestly think what is going on is like, I think the big catchphrase is always, excuse me, everybody, Star Wars is a Western. Star Wars is a Western. And I think when they actually do Star Wars as a Western, that's when some people actually have problems with it, because that really did feel like a Western. That felt more like a Western to me than anything that they've actually done. Like it actually like lived in the moment a bit, like how Westerns will, and that's where it was losing people. They were like, I want to get on with the big Star Wars mythos, and it's like, yeah,
they want the space fantasy, right? I want the space fantasy vibe. I want my glowy swords and magic, and when you don't have glowy swords and magic, then it doesn't feel Star Wars to a lot of people, right?
Right. And yeah. No, and a really big thing I think worth mentioning is that it, like, when you look at the Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino types, one of the things that came out of the 90s sort of gangster and also Western films, or later 90s with the Quentin Tarantino stuff, like the 2000s, but is that you always, they do the Yoda trick on you. They put the guy in there who talks a lot and does a lot of fast lingo and stuff like that, and then you underestimate him, and then it gets hot. later on. And this being a TV show, I think it's having the same pacing as something that they would do with gangsters. Like in Reservoir Dogs, you have everybody sitting around a table talking about Madonna not tipping, and you're not taking anybody that seriously. And then by the end of the movie, you're like, those guys are monsters. And I think that's what they're doing with the pacing on this.
You said a couple of things that I think are fantastic. First, I disagree a little bit about the Western. Episode 1 of Mandalorian, him walking into the bar is as Western as you're going to ever get.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's a saloon, my friend. like,
yeah.
If you don't get Western vibes out of Mando season 1, episode 1, you're not watching. Right? That is straight up Western. And but you have the gunslinger aspect of it, and then as you were talking there, you're absolutely right. I would love to see Quentin Tarantino come in to do Book of Boba Fett because he is a gangster. He says, I'm the boss, right?
Yeah.
And he is the crime lord. I'm the crime lord, is what he says. So I think of a good gangster movie. It'd be great to see Tarantino, somebody like that, come in and really give it that crime lord flavor, like a true mob kind of a vibe to it. And I don't think it's achieved that yet. It still has a lot of Western. So I agree with you. It is very Western. Very, very Western.
Star Wars with genre is usually like very fluid. It'll be Western for a minute, and then all of a sudden it will step back out and be like, oh, we're back to Star Wars as a genre. And I think Mandalorian does that. I just feel like this one stays in it more. It's like you're in a Western, then it flashes back to a Western. It doesn't ever really break out of the conventions. I don't think, at least not in the first episode.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you, and I'm not. I could tell, at least for me, the pacing seemed deliberate, especially like we were. And I was during my live stream, I was watching. We were 6 minutes in, and not a word of dialogue had been spoken by anybody. Like 6 minutes in, you're like, this is deliberate. Right? Like you don't have that long of a cut. Like it's fine you film all this stuff, this footage. When you're putting that together and you're getting the episode ready, there's a reason they waited over 6 minutes for the first line of dialogue to be spoken by anybody. Like anybody.
And somebody at Disney, somebody was like, hey, the Centurion man with the rocket pack, he hasn't said anything yet. And it's been, somebody said it. Somebody gave the note over, and then they had to justify it. Most likely, maybe I'm cynical, but I think that I bet you that happened.
I wouldn't be surprised either that somebody was looking at it and be like, from an outside perspective, like I don't know anything about what you're doing here. I'm just watching from a viewability or how many advertisers or how many subscribers we're going to get, and wondering, you got 6 minutes of a show here and nobody said anything yet. Do you think we could up the pace? Right?
But like when it comes to like a streaming, it's just like such a different animal in general, in the sense that like this episode, it is a slower paced episode. It's a guy like having flashbacks to being beat up constantly. It made a lot of people think he was weak. Like one of the things I kept hearing, even my dad watched it and he was like, "You seem pretty weak in it. I don't know, what was that about?" But I'm like, "Oh, Dad." But when you have all you have like that kind of pacing, it only matters this 1 week, because next week is the second episode, and then eventually the whole thing is there together. And so even if they have a slow opening, they get past it. I think.
Well, what was that? What was that gangster movie? It was really big. 2 years ago? That's like 3.5 hours long.
Right.
That's like half of your life when you watch it. It's...
Oh, was it the one on Netflix where they de-aged everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't finish it, honestly.
I mean, gangsters, right? You got a mob boss here.
The Irishman.
The Irishman. That's it.
Thank you from the neighborhood green.
Yes. The Irishman. That movie takes a while. And I think Jumpin' Jamie's onto something, right? He may be a man of few words the entire series. Your mob boss, he's not a talker, he's a doer, right?
Yeah.
And like when when they told him to go paint houses, they didn't have to give him a long description of what to do. You need to go paint that house. We knew what that was going to, what was going to go down. So, look, I think it's going to be the deal. I think he's right.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, look at there, the Irishman. If you look close, he's swimming in the pool to Howard Johnson's. Jumpin' Jamie in the Irishman. How about that? At least you didn't get painted, Jamie. Oh,
his new name should be Hojo Jamie. That's your new name.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Reefer Man, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Ain't nobody got time for slow pacing.
Yeah, like on my show, we've like redirected the whole thing. The whole Sarlacc pit. You could have moved that one episode. You could have made it like that movie where that one dude has his leg trapped or whatever for 72 hours or something. I mean,
right.
They like could have gone that way, but I try to gauge or try to critique what's on screen, not like what wasn't, which is I think an important thing for Star Wars fans to start to do and accept as a procedure. Oh, fanjecture, eh?
Adam.
About green boob milk anymore after one nation. Oh yeah. Fair enough.
Right.
As I started to read it out loud, I was like, I probably shouldn't be reading this one out loud.
I've kind of learned that in my chat because whenever I see certain people, Meg being one, and Nikki being the other, and every now and then we'll get Sheev the Wise in here. Sheev comes in. I always have to read first, then click. You really got to be careful. And I do have to mention another person. One of our subscribers sent me this calendar for 2022 that they made. And this is fantastic. It's all done with figures. So like Black Series figures. And the photography here is amazing. She did such a great job. Like some of these are absolutely...
Yeah, that looks like a Force Awakens outtake from here.
Right? These are so good. The lighting, the like everything here. Yeah, Nikki. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She did such a great job with this calendar. I gotta show you. Look. We've even got the Lego figures.
Those ones aren't fooling me now. I know those are Lego people.
I mean, these are awesome.
No, that is a good job. That is very, very, very good work.
It is really, really good work. The photography of these, look at that, it's stunning. And it's so good. And I just have to give a huge shout out to Yachty.
Oh, that's my favorite one. I love that one. That one's great.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yachty sent this to me as a gift, and thank you so much. This is absolutely gorgeous calendar. I love it. It's beautiful. Now this one here, look at this. The timing to get this, right?
Yeah.
You got to be dropping that figure and snapping it.
Is that how they do it? Is that how they do it? Do they drop it and
it's got to be, right?
Can the magician tell her tricks? Because I want to know how she did it now.
It's got to be, right? That's the only way I could imagine. Like,
I mean, unless she has it on a wire and photoshops the wire out, maybe.
Oh, maybe it's a wire with Photoshop. I don't know. Yachty, you have to tell us how you did the force choke.
Good work,
tell us your secret. That it's absolutely gorgeous. And thank you so much. What a wonderful. There you go. It's the force.
It's the force. So how did you do it? Oh, yada. Okay.
Yeah, she just used the force. That's it. Like, I don't know what's so hard for you guys to understand. Haven't you seen Star Wars before?
I've accepted that explanation in really huge movies with things that have very poor explanations. How did Poe survive getting out of that TIE fighter? Oh, the Force. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I guess so.
That's not how the Force works.
Superman knows.
Absolutely gorgeous calendar. Wonderful photography work there, Yadi. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Look, I think the Book of Boba Fett, and I think Meg brought it up, or actually it was the folks at Star Wars Newsnet. I was watching their show this morning. That the amount of Disney Plus content we're getting this year, 2022, I think when you add up the number of hours, will be more than the amount of screen time we have in the entire movie saga.
We're in a cult. We just realized it right now. We're showing up every Wednesday. We're staring at the screen. No, there's a lot going on here, but it's true. I mean, there's more Star Wars to like and dislike than ever before, and it's such an opportunity to not take it too seriously and to have fun. That's kind of my angle on it too. Because every single thing that comes out, we take it so seriously every single time. Not saying it's not Star Wars serious business. I get it. But I mean, you can enjoy it. It's not like it's the prequels where this came out and that's your one movie supposedly forever now. That's right. It's not like that anymore.
That's right. You don't have to wait 20 years between movies or new content.
Enjoy yourself. Take your shoes off. Don't just have a good time. Watch Boba Fett. Try to get out of that nasty mucusy thing.
Right. And let it sit. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about having a series. Like we can let these shows take more time. Big complaint about Rise of Skywalker, and I think deserved, is the pacing is frenetic. Right? It's just coming at you, it's solid the whole time. And you hardly have time to absorb what happened before something else is happening. And these shows allow you, and I loved that they come out weekly instead of the whole series, in one shot, that we can absorb it, let it sink in, talk about it. We lost Jason. We can contemplate it. We can, kind of ruminate around it, and then get the next episode and let it keep going. So it's absolutely fantastic. Jason is coming back. Here we go.
I'm back.
You're back.
All right. I don't know what happened. Everything just kind of like slowed down and locked up on Melon's end.
Melon hates you. Confirmed.
It does.
It's like Streamlabs hates our friend Sheev. Sheev and Streamlabs have a long lasting relationship that's also toxic. So it's tough. Yeah. It's tough. Oh my goodness. So I'm absolutely enjoy yourself. Yeah. And quit taking it. Well, I can't say quit taking it so seriously. I love to take it seriously. I love to get into the weeds and talk about these things. But not all Star Wars content is going to be for everyone. Where before, you had the original trilogy and that was all you had for 20 years. You either liked it or you didn't. The end. Right? Yeah.
Well, it's like at some point you have to trust that the creators who are making this thing, that you want to go on a ride with them, and you got to give them time.
Uh-oh. It happened again. It happened again. Are you back? He's frozen. I love that face, though. Look at that face. I want to mention something else. We do know that tomorrow, the next wave of the High Republic novels begin to come out. We get the next series of books. There's 2 books being released tomorrow, and then there's some coming later. We get the Starlight Beacon is apparently going down in flames, and much like Jason's melon stream going down in flames.
Yeah, it's definitely them because I'm hearing your audio go super crazy, and then that's it. So I don't know. I don't know. My best though. Just hold together, baby. Hold together.
Well, the High Republic isn't for everybody. I don't think you've enjoyed it. I know Meg did not enjoy it.
Nah, to me,
I've loved it.
Slow. Yeah,
that
one's too slow for me.
Light of the Jedi was but Light of the Jedi was a little slow. Like Light of the Jedi was a lot to take in, like a lot. But then since then, I've loved every book. Light of the Jedi is maybe my second least favorite of the High Republic books I've read, and I think it's just because you're introducing a brand new thing, and trying to get all of that and understand where you are, what's going on, who these characters are, what on earth is happening. So
it is a lot. You're right. Like, and not to armchair it entirely. I would have pulled in on one person and then started to pull out, and where you're like, what's going on? Like oh. Where am I? Like being lost would have been good. Instead, it was like, here's the almanac of everything going on today, and I don't feel like there was been a breakout character yet. I think once it gets a breakout character, that's when everything changes. And probably,
I agree.
Probably, one of the TV shows will probably give us that though.
Well, some of the junior novels have been better in that case because they focus in on 2 or 3. Right, these 3 are going on a journey together, and so you get to know those 3 and their interactions, and maybe one of the 3 you align with closer than the others, and then the next book picks up on another 2, and so you get these 2 characters, so you kind of can follow them as they're going through. In Light of the Jedi, you've got a myriad of characters. You don't know who's in charge, who am I rooting for, who do I like, who do I dislike. I don't know anybody, and it's hard to get into it. But then I'll say the books that came after that have been, in Kevin Scott's book, is worth reading Light of the Jedi for. Right? If you just do 2 books, read Light of the Jedi, then read Kevin Scott's book, and then if you don't like High Republic, you don't like High Republic, because if you don't like Kevin Scott's book, then you're out, right? Yeah. But his book is so good. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But not to, again. I saw somebody put in the chat before. Stay on target. Stay on target.
No, we're like Wedge. We just pull back and go over here, see what's going on. Come back to the topic later on, different time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'll have to go back. But anyhow, thank you so much, everybody. So we have episode 2 of Book of Boba Fett coming out Wednesday morning for us, Tuesday night for you.
If you rock and roll, yeah.
For you left coasters, you get to watch that at midnight, or Meg early in the morning, Wednesday morning for her. But for me, it's in the middle of the night, so I wait till 7:30 a.m. Eastern to do my watch of it. And most people already, most of the big YouTube channels have already covered it. But so you can rewatch it with me at 7:30, or you can watch it live with Jason. Right? You do it live, right?
I do it. I don't watch it on the stream. I watch it like at about 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I jump on and have my screenshots, and I'm like, Okay, let's connect the dots, everybody. Here we go. Let's take it too serious and get really mad about it right now.
Well, I think Sheev covers it live, so you can watch it with Sheev, and then you can rewatch it with Jason, and you can rewatch it again with me. There you go.
There's your 3 watches.
And then you get the summary with Meg and learn what happened. She does a great job. So, look, episode 2 is coming up. I saw something in the chat that kind of distracted me. I saw a rabbit go rushing by. I was going to chase it, but I guess now I'll just let it go.
Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'll let it go. Episode 2. Oh, I do have the predictions. So you see at the bottom of the screen, there's a little crawler there. It's the Wall of Fame. Those are the people who, of the predictions from episode 1, had more correct than me. If you get more correct than Santa, you go on the Wall of Fame. And I've been only showing page 1. There's so many people beat me this week. There are 3 pages of it. So I'll let page 2 go there for a while. And if you would like to take a chance at getting onto the Wall of Fame into the ticker below, then the link to week 2 predictions is in the description here. And
I have to do it. I have to do it this time. I meant to do it last time. Me and Rob were talking about doing it because Rob thinks he knows everything. I'm Rob. I know everything. And I was like, we got to do it this week. I think we'll do it on my show. We'll do it. We'll
there you go.
And we'll get everybody to go over there and yeah,
that'll be fun. Yeah, Meg came in 1 below. I had 13. Meg got 12. Correct.
Come on, Meg. You're taking this seriously. This is Star Wars, lady. Come on.
We won't talk about how Jason did during the Bad Batch last summer.
Because all my ideas were good. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Sorry.
So bad. He did so bad. Just so you know.
I was like 0 place.
Yeah.
Mike 0 place. I was on a completely different show. Sorry.
Right. Hey, Martin Keeler's here. Zuvium. Yeah, he's a page 2 hero. He made it. He made it onto the Wall of Fame. A lot of people made it onto the Wall of Fame. This week, I've already put my predictions in. Meg has already put hers in, and we're almost opposite. We're almost opposite on the entire predictions. Like the first 2 questions this week, and just as a preview, the first question, and I think I'm going to keep this on here for the season because it's a fun question. Boba Fett kills somebody. Is he going to kill somebody this episode or not? Yes or no? Right. The second question, Finnick will kill somebody. Right. So those will be the first 2 questions. I think I'm going to keep them on there for the entire season. And each episode, you can, who's going to get killed? Is somebody going to get killed? Is Boba going to kill somebody or Finnick? So I think that Meg and I even went opposite on those. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's enjoyable. And
is there a question that's, will Boba Fett have a Donner Party like experience with the Tuskens? Because that's what I'm betting on. I think he's going to have to eat them all. No? Okay, just me?
I just think Meg is holding back because she, everything she knows. If she would get a perfect, 20 out of 20, it would be suspect, right? People would say, hey, Meg's got an insider. I trust that she does. She knows, like Meg's got a hotline directly to corporate, right? She can call in. Her and Kathy have breakfast and she's all in. She knows.
Meg puts on like one of those like pencil skirts, I think they're called. And she's like a boss lady. And she's like, gets on there and she's like, KK, what's up, dog? Tell me what's going on. How Star Wars stocks are falling. What are we going to do? We're going to put Boba Fett in the Sarlacc? All right, let's do it. And it's all Meg. It's mostly Meg.
That's right. You're exactly right, Jason.
Yeah.
So if she were to go into the predictions and just ace it, it would be, people would be onto her. So I think she's purposely tanking just to make sure she doesn't get on the radar, right?
That's what I did with that Star Wars cartoon. Yeah, that's what I did too. It's not that I'm bad at guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, Meg and Kathleen Kennedy, they're tight. They're BFFs.
Right. Yeah, they're all like, the Force is female. They're like, no, the Force is me. Whoa.
That's right. That's right. That's so funny. Episode 2. Where do you think we're headed?
So I think it's a little bit obvious, and I'm curious if that ends up leading to bad culture results, if you will, for the week in terms of everybody's attitude. But it's super obvious that they're going to go to the Ithorian hammerhead dude who's the mayor, and they're going to be like, "Yo, where's Kitster? We want to put Kitster in charge. He won't be there. That's my prediction." And then but they're gonna clearly go to war. And then there's been leaks that there was a very minor leak from an extra early on that I don't know if we'll touch on, but that I think also informs the likelihood of what happens next.
Meg, I'm not clicking on that. I'm not clicking.
That would definitely get Disney Plus subs way up. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
That would do it. Yeah, I think Boba's going to have a come to Jesus meeting with the Ithorian mayor as well. Listen, Haas, I'm the boss. You may think you're the boss, but I got one of your dudes here. He's chained up, and we killed the rest of them. So this is the one we're giving you as a message. Don't let it happen again. That's where I think we're headed.
Oh, you ever watch UFC at all? Are you into that stuff at all? Do you like that side of things, or not too much for you?
I'm not too. I'm a little bit here and there. I will see, like, it'll come up on my YouTube feed or something like that, and I'll watch a bit.
Okay.
I'm kind of aware of some trends only because it shows up.
Well, Frank Trigg is one of the Gamorrean guards, like a classic UFC fighter. Is one of the Gamorreans.
Nice.
That was cool. Yeah. So
that is cool.
Just pointing it out there that we may see the Gamorrean guards do more. Like we might see Gamorrean guard doing an armbar or something in one of these episodes. Considering it's possible.
There you go. Mark my words. Episode 5. Rex is going to say, "I don't see you as a bounty hunter, Fett. I see you as my brother."
Whoa, man.
Okay. There we go, Meg. We have it.
I think he's gonna be like, "You look like me, but you ain't me." That's
you ain't me.
Oh, yeah, you ain't me, Rex. Yeah, he's got to be tired of it.
Nice.
After all this time, he's got to be tired of it. Like everybody looking like him.
Yeah. What was the line? It was I think it was in the Bad Batch, right? Where it's like, no, it was in Mando season 2, right? Like, I've seen that face before, right? Like,
or imagine if he shows up and he's like having his like midlife crisis and he gets that Kobe Bryant, or not Kobe Bryant, whatever that basketball player's name was, who had like the bleach chair all the time. Do you remember when Rex first came out?
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman.
Oh. The Dennis Rodman,
Dennis Rodman. Yeah, he had that Dennis Rodman hair. All of a sudden, that's back. That would look so awful, and on a 50-year-old man in live action. Please do it.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. And I am on Meg's bandwagon on getting Mace Windu back. I absolutely am on her bandwagon there. And I think it's going to happen. I think the Book of Boba Fett's the right place for it to happen. And I'm all in. I definitely want to see it. And there is enough smoke, right? Like, have they elected the new pope? I'm not sure, but I see smoke coming out the out the chimney, right? There's enough smoke to let me know that there's signal coming out. And I'm not exactly sure if it's the purple smoke or if it's gray smoke. We're watching. We're watching.
Yeah,
for sure. And thank you so much, Kieran. Happy New Year to you. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Thank you very much for that. Very nice.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson not looking any different at all for the most part, and then with any aging he's done is so easy to hide on that dude. Like he's a gold mine right there for them. I mean, he could be in prequel elements. He could be in future elements. They have to. It has to like culminate with that eventually. I hope we get the sign this season that it's a thing.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. And yeah, watch out for the perp smoke. For real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Mace in the Book of Boba Fett. I think it's great, and it sets up really well for a perhaps even a spin-off of getting the backstory to, you know, maybe the Book of Windu, right? Or to sort of, you know, kind of line that up where he's having flashbacks. He's having these memory recalls. He's trying to figure out, like, my whole theory on it is he got yeeted out the window. He ends up with some amnesia. He doesn't know who he is. The trauma of the incident has him a little addled, and it takes him a while to recover his memory, to figure out who he is, and then, you know, where he's been. And he's been having little flashback dreams, sort of like we see in the Book of Boba Fett, where he's having these dreams, where Mace Windu gets these dreams of things that happened, say, during the Clone Wars, and the confrontation with Palpatine, and then finally figures out who he is, and he's out to kind of figure out where the galaxy is, what's going on, and kind of get back. So that's just my thought.
Yeah, well, George Lucas sets Boba out on this warpath of revenge that can never really reach atonement, because his father is dead. Everything that he's raging about in the world can never really be fixed. That happened. And so, like, in a weird way, the only way to close out Boba is to give him that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
agree.
In terms of, if we follow the George Lucas path, that is.
Right. And Meg has a joke. Is it a joke you need to save until after the show, Meg?
No, she needs it now, and I know it's good. I can tell. I can feel it. It's show appropriate, and it's ready.
Oh, I'm
fire when ready, Meg. Fire when ready. I'm just
okay. No, this was not bad. This was not bad. I could actually click on it. What do you call a Russian emperor? A pal Putin. Putin. A pal Putin.
Palpatine. Palpatine.
Very good. And I saw the question: how likely is it that he will be in the Book of Boba Fett? And Meg said he's in a lot of the merch, and that's where I'm talking about the smoke, right? Like we see Mace Windu in the Boba Fett Monopoly game, for example. That doesn't mean that he's in it for sure. It's not the Book of Boba Fett Monopoly. It's Boba Fett Monopoly. So that he's in there ties him to Boba Fett. But there are also some other merch that I don't know that I could talk about. I've seen pictures of that have Mace Windu in that merch as well. Again, I don't know.
Let me be devil's advocate here. If they were going to put Mace in, when they do the flashback, the Geonosian flashback, and we see that new shot that was added, do you think at that moment it would have been better? Should they have shown Mace Windu in using Attack of the Clones footage?
Oh,
in that moment, if they were, and the fact that they didn't do it, is that telling onto itself? I'm just throwing it out there.
It's a good point. Yeah. Martin, I expect everyone to return at some point except Cara, dude. Right? Or Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru's. They're gone. Yeah. This Meg mentions the Book of Boba Fett puzzle has Mace in it. Right, Meg. I didn't know if I could mention that or not. That's what I was holding back on. I saw that picture. I've seen the picture of Mace in that puzzle, and it's the Book of Boba Fett puzzle. So, yeah, I think it's it. And here we have Max Rebo survived. We saw. I think Salacious Crumb is going to have survived. We know that Boba Fett survived. we know so many people have survived their apparent deaths that I'm absolutely with Martin on. I pretty much expect anyone to return at some point, right? I really do, and I would not mind seeing, Sheev, right, right. Boba looked at him and nod towards Mace, right? But we didn't see Mace, and that's what Jason was bringing up. All right, right. Yeah, you're not wrong. Right. Owen will be back. He's only a bit burned, right? And it's same thing. Who was it put in here? RF Gaming Channel. Well, we just see some skeletons. Did they do DNA testing on those skeletons? Did we get dental exam to confirm that was their dental records? Do we know for sure that was Owen and Beru, or is that a plant put there to draw Luke into the war so that he could be turned and made into the Emperor's apprentice? Right? We don't know. You don't know. They just a bit burnt, right? So yeah, and Mace has survived large falls. Not only Mace, but many other Force users. And one of the classic ones, even from the movies, is, of course, Anakin jumping out of that speeder, dropping who knows how many hundreds of feet and yards, meters. Right? He falls a great distance onto the back of another speeder, and no problem at all. And we see it plenty in the Clone Wars animated series. There's lots of examples of that. So, yeah, it's 20. Whether Ben Solo will come back from the dead. Yeah, I think that people will be talking about. Well, people are already talking about it, right? There's those fans who want to see Ben redeemed and live. Have theories on how he could still be alive or brought back. So that already exists. Let me switch to page 3. Page 3 of the of the Wall of Fame. Here you have it for the folks there that made the cut. Right. Even if it's done badly, I don't know. I want to see it done well. But I understand you. No, Yaddy. No, Cad Bane is not dying. Cad Bane is going to live, and Sheev is going to come visit me here in the winter cabin. That's happening. That's all right. You're back.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see for how long.
It's not my friend today. I don't know why.
Right. Meg's talking about that puzzle. So I did see the picture of this leaked image from a toy shop owner who released it. It's a Spring 22 inventory Book of Boba Fett puzzle, and it has Mace Windu as a part of that puzzle. So this is what I mean about Sheev. See you in the lair. I don't think so, Sheev. So yeah, I think that we're going to see Mace Windu. He's in so much of the merch, and there's little hints, little wisps of smoke from here and there that you can see, and I think it's an absolute signal that we're going to get Mace Windu. I know every time that Meg sees the color purple, she's convinced that's confirmation.
Every time she watches The Color Purple with Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, she's like, there, proof.
Or Oprah Winfrey, she's like, I know Mace Windu's back.
Mace Windu's alive. It's right there in the title of the movie. Oh my goodness. Hey, I think we can actually wrap up our discussion about George Lucas's sequel trilogy plans,
Okay.
and that resolution looks terrible to me. Let me see if I can improve it in any way. It's just that's a mess.
See, it
Even
looks okay on my end.
Okay.
Today movie is crazy. I don't know.
Okay, so I think we're down to we had gotten into some of the renewed development, and we had gotten through these first bullet points in here, that parts of the concepts that stemmed from the briefings that made it into the movies. Again, they don't necessarily represent what George would have told by any means. That's not to say that. It's just saying a little tip of the hat, saying we got your story treatments. We're going to give some little pieces of it here and there. And so we talked about this the last time. The 14-year-old female Jedi Padawan named Taryn, that ended up being 19-year-old Rey, and it went through several iterations before it even became that.
Taryn is the space name for Karen, in case anybody's wondering.
Jedi Mike, the color purple. You get a mace, and you get a mace. Everybody gets a Mace Windu.
Karen's like, I want to see the Jedi Master. Can I see the Jedi Master, please? Can I see the Mace Windu of this place? Yeah.
No, Cad Bane ain't dying. He's living. Boba's not killing Cad Bane. I'm telling you all, it's not happening.
I will be bummed if Cad Bane comes back just to get immediately killed, like in live action.
Well, I'm the same way with Mace Windu. I don't want him to come back just to be immediately killed. We need some of his story told. We need to see where he has, and I think, by the time we get to the actual sequel trilogy, he's gone. But I think that's that story is to be told. So anyway, the teenager named Skylar, that kind of gets split into Finn and Ben. By the time they break that character down, it becomes two different characters. Again, is that even really how that happened?
I don't think so. I mean, it's so broad, but also Skylar sounds like he has a peanut allergy. Just gonna throw that out there. Kid's named Skylar. They got it coming.
Again, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Older Luke Skywalker exiled himself. Now, I did see this mentioned several times, and it's a bit of a Apocalypse Now kind of treatment. He was a curmudgeon. He had kind of hermited himself, and the female character goes and finds him and talks him into coming back. He eventually has a change of heart and agrees to train her. Of all of these, this is the one that is most direct, in that Ryan Johnson told this. Much of it straight off the page. And Jason's frozen again. He's just he's not so enthralled by my. There you go back.
Well, what I was gonna say was, I was having leaks for episode 7 from the very start, from the very get-go of it, and I never once saw anything with the name Taryn on it. So it was Kira for the majority. So when that film that we really got started, it was not any of those names. It was Kira. So I have a feeling that if this stuff was just there and they were like, that's cute, and then they went on to do their own thing.
I have to show this because your friendly neighborhood Green Bear, like, he knows the bet. Sheev and I have this bet, and this was a fantastic reference. Good job. Nicely done. So there you have it. So we have this part was picked up. He does have a change of heart and agrees to train her. In Last Jedi, we see a little bit of that, and it's a very, like, the training's not very complete, right? And he says, I'm going to give you 3 lessons, but we only see 2. The third got cut. It's a mess, right? But as far as like that bit, I like The Last Jedi, and the dogs are very excited because our daughter's home, and that's all the barking.
Just little wookies.
So
It's okay.
yeah. So
So one of the things I wanted to add about that is that they totally went out during the Force Awakens era of press, and they said that Luke being exiled in the Apocalypse Now kind of scenario was Rain Roberts' idea on the Lucasfilm Story Group, in that it was presented as such as being her idea. And so the question I kind of have right now is, was that just marketing at the time doing what it does regardless of the truth? Or did Ray Roberts suggest this to George Lucas back then and he said, yeah, I like that. And that's where it went about. How much of that idea is George Lucas, or was Rain Roberts simply passing along a George Lucas idea to JJ, who thought it was Rain Roberts' idea the whole time, and therefore...
Well, the tie-in to Apocalypse Now and George Lucas is strong, right? Like, he wanted to do that, right? And eventually it didn't work out that way. So to put that same theme in, it fits. It's believable. Let me put it that way, right? It's believable. And again, with George Lucas, you never really know. Well, it's hard to really know what he agreed to or what he let go out as marketing, or what people just made up to fill in and said that he said. It's really tough to get the straight, the skinny from it, right?
Because I know that Lucas doesn't like Last Jedi. I mean, somebody really close to Lucas that I know, like, straight up told me, yeah, he didn't really like what they did with the movie. And I was like, oh, but yeah,
it is what it is, right? And we can. It's one of the things that I try to focus on. Like, what are the things? It's that Serenity Prayer, right? Help me to let go of the things that I can't change, and help me change the things that I can. And there are certain things that we can't change, and getting upset and worked up over things that you can't change isn't helpful or productive. It can maybe help you vent.
Of the prequels, you need to accept change, Annie. It's a thing.
It is a thing, yeah. So then the antagonist, right? The Darth Talon, and bringing in Maul was a thing, right? So, and this is where we kind of get here. This interview published in 2020. George Lucas said he decided not to work on a trilogy because he was about to have a daughter, and then he detailed more of his story treatment. So, we got the stuff ahead, right, above, but then you get down here. This is out of the interview in 2020. So just 2 years ago, less than 2 years. The trilogy would start a few years after Return of the Jedi. Established quickly, there's an underworld. There's an offshoot of stormtroopers who started their own planets. I think, it's hard for stormtroopers to start a planet. Like, you just go out in the middle of space, say, I want a planet. And so you go and you start getting stuff. You just start your own planet.
Make it Alderaan.
I don't know what that means. You start your own planet. Like, what? I'm not sure exactly what that means. Maybe it means that they kind of, banded together, went to a planet, and kind of established some control over some area.
Yeah, it's the frontier. They make new settlements, is what he means.
And here's the Darth Maul. Darth Maul returns with robotic legs. This goes back into the Clone Wars, right? So that got took into the Clone Wars, and then he was going to train Darth Talon. Darth Talon was going to become the new Darth Vader, and most of the action was with her. Now, this is what I hear a lot of people saying, I would love to see this. Like, give us something of that. That would be great. And
so with it going right to robotic legs and Maul having been bisected, does that mean that his crotch was salvaged and reattached to him?
Oh, well, does he get the spider legs first? That's what robotic legs. He had the robotic
Yeah.
spider, torso, like from the waist down. So yeah,
So no, the answer is
no,
no.
no. There's all kinds of questions that come from where he was bisected and how all of that works. I think the way they handled it in the Clone Wars animated series, it's magic. It's Night Sister magic. He's got the green fog in him, and that's how that works. that's
You get the green fog, you're ready to go. Yeah.
yeah. Meg, Jason asking the important questions. I know. That's why he's here.
Everybody thinks about it. It's like his legs. That's kind of sanitized. Disney Wikipedia, whatever.
Maul becomes the godfather of crime. Now, I think that's what they're trying to establish with Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
From everything we've seen, that's sort of the direction that's going. And well done, Meg. Well done. I know you did.
You have to look twice in the Dathomir. You'll know you smell good. Sorry.
That's right.
Sorry, that's dumb.
Yes, and I know you made this video, Meg. Go look it up. If you're not subscribed to Meg, what are you doing with your life, first of all? But secondly, go do it now.
Just type in Star Wars Meg spider turds. You'll find it.
So yeah, ironically, like Maul, they brought Scar back between the movies too. Yeah. So he would become the godfather of crime. So what it leads to, would Filoni maybe do this bit, right? Would Filoni maybe bring Darth Talon in as an adversary at some point? Is that a possibility?
Well, it was clearly what they were setting Kira up to be. Kira was Maul's new baby Sith apprentice, not really a Sith, but wants to be a Sith apprentice kind of person, right? And so
now you've touched on another really big topic of the week. Are we going to see Kira in the Book of Boba Fett? And this is something that Meg and I talked about some time ago. And one of the issues was Emilia Clarke's schedule. And there was no indication that her schedule would have allowed for her to do any filming. But now people are starting to really analyze her schedule. And as Meg did in her video, go look at her IMDb in the project she's on, right? Because IMDb will list, what they're working on 2022. Like, they're filming or their cast is this. 2021 for Emilia Clarke is void. There's nothing there. And is that because they're suppressing that she worked on the Book of Boba Fett as Kira?
Well, if we believe that the 4chan leak is legit, let's just pretend like it's totally real. What it really details in there is about 2 moments with her. So I literally could see her having the fullest schedule of all time, and it's still not mattering because she just needs to show up to a stage in LA for an afternoon to get what that promised anyways. That leak, it's so small. If that ends up panning out at all, I could totally see it happening, and I also don't see it as being one of those things that needed to be filmed back then. They could have filmed it any time between now and 3 weeks ago, probably.
Well, that's an absolutely valid point, and that's how they snuck in Mark Hamill into the Mandalorian season 2, and a lot of the thought that maybe they got Harrison Ford for the Book of Boba Fett is he's already over in Europe doing Indy. How hard is it to sneak him into the volume over there in London for a couple hours? It's not like he's got to be there for weeks. He doesn't have. They're not going to see him coming in and out. He just sees snuck in covertly once.
Yeah.
For a few hours, done. He's out, and then they get somebody else in to do the body work that they put the deep fake on, right? So
Yeah.
it absolutely could happen. You could have got Emilia Clarke in to do some scenes,
And,
same
and,
sort of
and she
thing.
doesn't even need any special effects. She just has to get in costume.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
because she can absolutely carry the role forward, and it's one of my suppositions about Harrison Ford. Why would you bring in Harrison Ford opposite of Emilia Clarke? Why would you bring in Harrison Ford to springboard this story? It just that leads you to a whole bunch of deep fake in another series.
I have been questioning with the indie deal being renegotiated and stuff like that. Did Harrison Ford sell his likeness entirely over to a Disney for that stuff? I know that there's been deals set up in the past, but I've been curious about that because that could be if they did spend big money to own Harrison Ford's likeness in perpetuity or whatever. That would literally mean by Alden, we're going to be using CGI Harrison Ford. You
Yeah,
know, that kind
I
of
don't
stuff
know.
too.
I think to me it makes more sense to bring in Alden.
It does. It does.
And
But if they
it's
bought
the
it,
same thing. I've seen a lot of articles coming from unreliable sources. So let's put that into front, like completely unreliable sources, discredited sources, talking about having in what's his name for Luke, Bucky from
oh yeah, yeah.
that he is already Luke Skywalker in season 3 of The Mandalorian, and that he's been filming, and he is the Luke Skywalker for Disney Plus Star Wars. Look, I'm not opposed to it at all. I just
No.
don't trust the sources. Let's wait and see. But for the same reason, we might see him move forward with Luke Skywalker. First of all, it's just believable enough, and I think Alden did well enough of a job of being Solo, opposite of Emilia Clarke. That Sebastian Stan, that's it. Sebastian Stan. Thank you, Dan the man. That it makes more sense to use Sebastian Stan and Alden Ehrenreich moving forward for Disney Plus, Han and Luke.
God, it would be awful though you're watching Mando like on a episode by episode, and then here's Mark Hamill, and then now here's Bucky. Like it's just like you need to do one or the other, though. You know what I mean? And that theory,
right. Right. Well, and that's why I really question bringing in Harrison Ford for Luke, for Han. Mm-hmm. Like I get getting Harrison Ford's name in the credits. That's why I predicted we were going to get Mark Hamill for Mandalorian. They wanted that in the credits, and they got it right. And he was actually there. He did it, and so they're going to want to put Harrison Ford in there just for that alone. But and there's plenty of other reasons.
You get that one time of doing that with Mark Hamill, and everybody's like, "That's magical." When they do it again, people are going to be like, "Oh, yeah, they're doing it again." Okay.
Yeah, that's why I think
fun.
you could bring in Bucky and it'd be just fine, right? We could bring him in. I think people are ready to accept it and move forward. It's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Darth Chaos, you're not wrong. I want to get this comment here about Dan the Man. I agree. This comment that's been up here, I think that's very possible. Whether it's Luke, Rey, Mace, Finn, somebody is going to have a Jedi Academy at some point post Tross, right? Post Rise of Skywalker, we're going to get another Jedi Academy at some point, and they will have to fight against something. And it absolutely could be a Council of Darkness. It could come from some of the Legends material. Absolutely. Whether they will or not. And it's one of the things that I see Dave Filoni kind of, buying into. So perhaps so. Perhaps so. And then that's to go back to Darth Chaos. They wouldn't hire that YouTuber that does deepfakes for no reason. You're not wrong, but how much budget are they going to want to spend on every episode doing deepfake stuff ongoing.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Yeah, we don't really have a very clear indication about what that cost, about how much was spent on it in the past. We know that there's probably a lot of R&D that went into it and stuff like that. But afterwards, like, what's the true cost and what's the investment in the future for them too? Because they may be, every time they do it, it may get cheaper, and
Well,
we may see it all the time, for better or worse.
Yeah, yeah. And Meg, I think that they are starting to use some of that material. That's what I mean. I don't think we're going to get direct tellings of it, but the evidence of an heir to the empire adaptation of some sort is there, and I think it's fair to say that we're likely to get some of that. So, yeah,
I think Daniel brings up a good point of that they might have just got the guy for Indy 5, but I also think that if the guy is generally talented, it's like, think about how many other movies ILM will be doing visual effects for that might need a young Nicole Kidman or something like that. And
that's right.
There you go.
That's right. And the guy, his resume happened to be, doing this, but he did others. It wasn't just the deep fake he did of Luke, but he did other deep fakes of other characters. And they said, this guy, his resume is good. And you're exactly right. People, again, forget about Lucasfilm not just being stuck to Star Wars, right? Yeah. They have Indy. They have, if it ever sees the light of day, I'm starting to get worried about Willow.
Willow's almost done filming, but it's been a rocky production.
Yeah,
it really has.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
So let's try to finish this. so we don't end up with a part 6. Okay. Let's try to get. So it says Leia is trying to rebuild the Republic, get it under control from the gangsters, and that was going to be the main story. Now, this was completely retconned in the novels that came out. Leia, Princess of Alderaan, she gets shunned pretty bad by the universe, right? They're like, wait, you're the daughter of Vader? Yeah, get out. So, and that's canon. So the idea that she was going to rebuild the Republic, get it controlled, and that she was going to then become the next Supreme Chancellor in charge of everything, she ended up being the chosen one, which we'll talk about that in just a second. That was retconned in the novels. She could never achieve that, and that's why we see in The Force Awakens her leading this offshoot band of resistance. So that wasn't going to happen after the transaction took place, and he's going back and saying, look, this was the earlier plans, bringing back Maul with the robotic legs, having Leia come back. That was the main story, her becoming the Supreme Chancellor in charge of everything. That was earlier plans, and like we saw with the original trilogy, as we talked about earlier, Lucas's plans are fluid, right? And as it develops, things change.
Yeah, there's all kinds of moving parts in here. And he should have had Lando become the president of the galaxy. That would have made more sense. And then he's out there flirting with everybody. He gets canceled. First Order comes right in. Makes sense to me. That's what would have happened. Canceled Lando.
Yeah, absolutely. He was way too much of a player. Right? Mm-hmm. He would have definitely been called out for his.
There would have been some green person on some planet that had something like, "Hey, you know what? I just wanted to play cards, man."
Right. And he took me to his room, and then yeah.
Wedge knew about it. That was the worst part. Wedge knew everything. All right.
Oh my goodness. So we go backwards again. 2015, Lucas revealed that his outlines were discarded, and this begins then the things that people are really upset about now. All right. And it goes into Iger's book, in his memoirs saying that he was upset, and what you're reporting as well, that I thought you put it really well before, that it's like seeing your ex go out with the new guy or get remarried. You're like, okay, they've got a new husband, but
Yeah.
I'm happy for her, I guess, because she's my ex, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, he's still a human. There's still an ego in there, no matter how many mushrooms he may have done in the '70s to try to lose it. He still has an ego, and it's got to be just weird. It's got to just kind of just be like, I wish, because it has to be a part of him that wishes it fails without him too. Whether he really is that petty or not, I think that would still be a really human thing to be like, I created this. This is me.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I thought when you said that before, that it really rung a bell for me. That it's your ex, right? You loved them. You married them. You had a life with them. But then, the divorce happens. They remarry somebody else. He sold Lucasfilm to Disney, thinking that it was going to be okay, but then it wasn't. And so now you get these new movies coming out, even to the degree that they want to kind of pay homage to some of your ideas. They're not doing it at all with your involvement. They're not doing it with your blessing, so to speak. And so there's some bitterness there. I don't doubt that at all. But it's something that I try not to get I try not to let those things affect my opinion of the movies themselves. I try to grade them, judge them on the content of themselves.
Yeah, I want George to be
all
happy.
the other noise.
I really do want him to be happy, but at the same time, if George wanted to be creatively happy, he should have kept it and kept making it, and he didn't do it. It's not fair to anybody else to pass the baton and then to keep taking the baton back and going, I have these other ideas though. It's like, no, buddy. If we're gonna do that passing the baton stuff, you passed it.
Right. Right. And so I just think it's unfair to use let me put it back into the X category. So there are relatives of mine who are divorced, remarried, and different things like that. Their ex-spouses are not my enemy.
Yeah.
My fight was not with them. I appreciate them for who they are before, during, and after their relationship to my relative, be it my ex sister-in-law or my niece's ex, whatever. Right? It doesn't matter. Yeah. That person, I try to keep my relationship to them, not tainted by whatever happened between my relative and them. Right? Yeah. So I try not to do that. Like I don't get mad at them because they were unfaithful to my relative, or my relative had this battle with them that ended their marriage. That's between them. And so I see it the same way with Lucas and Disney in the sale of Lucasfilm. Whatever fight he has with Iger or Disney or Kathleen Kennedy, for that matter, if there even is one with her, I don't know. I don't know them. I try not to judge the content, the movies, the shows, off of what happened in that event. I just want to judge the content on the content.
Yeah.
Let it be what it is. Yeah. And knowing that these story treatments existed, that they exist, and they're out there somewhere. I also acknowledge, and through this discussion, I hope that it's been apparent through our discussion to people who are rewatching this later or who are involved, that these treatments would not have hit the film, would not have been released as they are outlined. None of them did. We went back, we talked about what happened during the original trilogy, what happened during the prequel trilogy. We talked about these, and you can see that even during these sequels, going back to the 80s, what his original plans were for them, and how they evolved and evolved and evolved and changed and changed and changed. What we end up with here in this bit that we just talked about, right? This last bit here, what we see in this bit would not have been what we got. And people say, "Well, I want that." Well, you wouldn't have even gotten that.
Yeah, you would. You definitely would not have got that. Even with the Duel of the Fates script for episode 9, everyone's always like, "I want that," and I'm like, I read the second draft, and you were never going to get that because that had already changed, but quite a bit when Carrie Fisher passed. And yeah, it's. I also want to throw it out there too. If you just look at what's going on at the time, look at when George supposedly finds out it's not his movie anymore, or it's not his story. They had already filmed the movie when he finds out. If it was like 20, most of the filming was well underway in 2015. And so depending on when in 2015 he found out, it says that George Lucas said, "Well, there's my idea, going on vacation, see you later." And it came back like a year and a half later, like, "You're gonna make my movie?" He clearly wasn't that involved. He clearly like pieced out in the middle of it and wasn't that accessible. That's definitely if that story is in any way actually accurate.
Well, Meg's comment here is shared by a large portion of the fandom. A large portion of the fandom say he was done dirty. I don't agree.
Yeah.
I think that had he created the story treatments he gave to Disney would not have been the story that he put on the film. Yeah. And for him to expect that the story treatments he gave to Disney would be what they put on film is unrealistic. I think we've proved through the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy that what his original story treatments were never made it to film. There's concepts from it. There are certain story points that made it, but those treatments weren't just adapted directly to film. Major parts of it were changed. Major parts. And people say, well, there were minor adjustments. No. Look, Vader being Luke's father is a major change. Leia being Luke's sister, major change. These aren't minor changes. The major story beats still kind of happen as far as that's concerned, but even in that, they're different. They're made different by the and at the end of Return of the Jedi, Luke was still supposed to not even had known his sister, and he was going to carry on, and that Palpatine wasn't going to be revealed in Return of the Jedi. He wasn't supposed to be revealed until the sequels.
Yeah.
To say that that's not a major change? Wait. Your bad guy went to be from the sequels into the original trilogy. You completely changed the ending. Your main antagonist, right? Your major villain. You completely changed that. That's a major change.
Yeah, prequels were supposed to be centered around a love triangle that was budding in Phantom Menace. And that was his original plans for that. And then that goes away. It's a completely different concept altogether on that front.
Meg, you don't know that she's not listening. I'm trying to get my shield dollars, okay?
Well, Meg's probably texting with her right now. She's probably like, where
she
you
probably
at?
Is.
Kathy Kennedy's like, oh, I'm at FUBU buying some new hats. So, sorry, lids. Yeah. Lids, that's KK.
Yeah, KK's probably sending her pictures. You like this one or that one? And Meg saying, I like the purple one.
It's like, turn to the side. It's like the force is female.
Meg said, buy the purple one. Buy the purple. You should definitely get the purple one. That's Kathy has Santa on speed dial. Well, Kathy does. Maybe she's my wife. So,
sure. Nobody ever knew that Frank Marshall was also Santa Claus.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. No, I'm not. I don't think Luke that Lucas was done dirty. I think that things change, and I used this analogy before. Like we used to get in trouble with our kids because we'd say, "Hey, we're going to go see. We're going. We're going to go shopping. We'll go out to eat, and then we'll go see a movie. Well, you get delayed with the shopping. You end up picking up McDonald's on your way home, and you never go see the movie. Well, did you lie to them? Well, I don't think it was a lie. We intended to do it. Just the plans changed along the way. So we didn't go out to dinner. We didn't. I mean, we did. We got McDonald's. Not the same. Not the same. And we didn't see a movie. So that completely changed, right? Our plans for the day completely changed. Got caught in traffic. The lines in the store were longer than we thought. They didn't have what we wanted in the store where we thought we were going to get it. We ended up going to 5 other stores before we found it. Things happen. And I think that's what happened with the sequel trilogy. They had the treatments. They start working on it. They start getting through the process. And they get so far away, they're like, okay, I don't think this is going to work anymore. Let's just start from scratch and build something new. I think it's the same thing. I don't think that they did Lucas dirty. It's just things happened. And the kids got mad because we didn't go to see the movie. We promised them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a lie. We didn't intentionally deceive them to get them to go shopping.
Right? Yeah, no. And I mean, we don't really know. There's a lot of things that we don't know about the adaptation process either at that time. Like Michael Arndt needed all this time. And did Michael Arndt need so much time because he's a slow writer, as they say? Or he's a great writer, but was it because he was slow? Or was it because to make this concept work was going to take years because it wasn't that good of a concept, or it was a complicated concept that wasn't really appropriate for a popcorn movie?
Right. And Dan, you're right. I'm in the minority here. I'm in a very small pool of people. And I don't think history will see it that way. I agree with you. I think that Meg is right. People in large today accept that that Lucas was done dirty. That's what they believe, and that's how it's perceived. And ultimately, at the end of the day, perception becomes reality, and I think that's what's the deal here. I think I'm going to lose this narrative. But it's the one that I have, so I'm just sharing it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and I just want to tell Meg that also a good line is to show back up the very next day and say, "I'm the McRib. I always come back." Okay. Don't do that, Meg. Don't do that.
Here's a good pickup line. Top tip. The pro tip: don't call him a Big Mac. Meg's tried it. It doesn't work. It doesn't.
I like your big
Oh,
Macs.
no. Meg, I'm not reading that one. I'm not.
Quality Meg.
Oh, Meg. And just a little, we got to do a little promo here. Your show at the top of the hour? You planning to go to the top of the hour?
That's true. At 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
So what are you and Sketchy Rob talking about today?
You know, I really don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of winging it. To be honest with you, it's that kind of we're like in between the episode. There's that Sun article about the Han Solo thing. Might just hit on what it could mean and where it's likely to be legit and not at all.
Daniel, I think we'll all agree on this. The development of the sequels was rushed.
Yeah,
true. That is a true statement. Whether you loved them or you hated them, they were rushed. That's absolutely true. Man on the Moon, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So tune in at the top of the hour to find out what Jason and Sketchy Rob are talking about today. You just never know. Time will tell. Time will tell. You know, there could be a hot news story released here at any moment, and then we'll go live with it straight off the presses.
That usually happens to you. Like you finish your show right at the end, and then they're like, "Oh, here's this new TV spot for Book of Boba in a drought of Star Wars news." So.
I could want a large fry.
Yeah,
you promised it wasn't dirty, Meg. You
kind of like Will Smith in the 90s. I'm just going to throw it out there that Meg has the pickup skills of Will Smith from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the 90s.
Oh my
I'm not
goodness!
knocking it if it works.
And another a little bit of a promo. Meg and I are going to meet right after this stream. We're gonna have a call, and we're going to discuss some droids. She's been doing some videos about droids for her patrons, and she's invited me to join that discussion. So Star Wars Meg, if you're not one of her Patreons and you would like to see what she's talking about with the droids, you should become a patron of Star Wars Meg. So there's that as well. And while you're at it, you're already logged into Patreon. You can find my friend over there. He's got a Patreon account as well. You might as well support him while you're at it. I mean, it's just, what's another click of a button? It's that easy.
Yeah, me and Johnny did like a 2-hour commentary from Star Wars to Jedi: The Making of a Saga. I just don't know how to upload it. I think I'm going to upload it to my Gmail or my Google Drive and then just put the link onto Patreon. I think that's how I'm going to do it.
And Ronnie, you're right. Yes, that's the secret that we found out. Meg is a droid. So that's true. That's true. So we need to close with the Mike Porter dad joke of the day. And Mike Porter, this one strikes very close to my heart. This is one of my favorites. Fantastic. If you know Star Wars Santa and you know blurgs, you know my passion for blurgs. Mike Porter dad joke. What do you get when you cross a blurg with a cow?
What Mike Porter dad joke?
Oh, a hamburger.
Oh man, that guy.
That one is my favorite ever. That's my favorite dad joke of all. Mike Porter. That one's a hamburger. That was fantastic.
My grimace, get it? My grimace for you, Mike Porter.
I do. Hey, thank you again, Jason, and I appreciate your time this morning. Same. And we'll catch you soon. For the rest of you, thank you for being here. We're going to try to end the stream. It gets difficult when Melon screws it up, because right now it's telling me go live on here, not end stream. So I'm going to push the button over here in YouTube, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. And until then, my friends, Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.